we should start streaming on Captain Reboot any second now. And hello, my name is Casey, and we're going to be playing some D&D. But before that, I'm going to try and confirm that we are streaming, which means you may get some loot back, for which I apologize.
I have an ad, so I have to wait.
Oh no, not the
Elton
ad.
John, Rocket Man, Prime Video. Sponsored. It is hosting currently.
It is hosting currently. And can you hear us appropriately?
No, like it's hosting somebody else.
It's hosting somebody else!
Wait, hold on, I just switched over.
Those fiends. How about now?
Hold on, I have another. It's the same ad. It's the same Rocket Man ad. I gotta wait.
And this is why you should subscribe to the channel, which would prevent you from having to watch the ad. And you can do that for free using your Twitch Prime subscription.
Maybe.
Yeah, you log into Prime, you hit the Twitch Prime thing, it says you could do this for free, and then for your free subscription, Sin gets something like $2 to $5 real dollars.
Hey, guess what?
What?
I don't have Prime.
Mug a friend.
I have one friend, and here they are.
Does she have Twitch Prime? Do your parents have Twitch Prime? What you want to do is you go into your parents' pocketbook, you open it up, and you take out a credit card. This is good life advice.
She is self.
I think if you
I'm
can't
25,
find it,
I own a business and my parents live in different states.
Now hold on. He just told his daughter, go into your parents' pocketbook.
Uh-huh.
So he's giving you permission.
She does it
because he knows. It's because he knows he has no money.
That's exactly right.
Oh, okay.
It's not gonna hurt him any.
And just to be fair, if I had the opportunity, I would go into my parents' pocketbooks and take their credit cards and sign up for Twitch Prime. So I appreciate that you're 25, but still, the advice holds true. Yes. So now that I've encouraged people to take advantage of credit card fraud, possibly streaming on a public event, are we streaming?
Yes, we are. We have
Awesome.
been.
And are you able to hear me and yourselves?
Yes.
Cool. So hey everybody, welcome. We're going to be playing some D&D. We are in the middle of the Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign, and the characters have managed to acquire a rundown tavern and manor in the Troll Skull Alley. The manor itself is named Troll Skull Manor, and there was a little hesitation on the part of the party in acquiring this magnificent building, and they have encouraged the writer Volo to rent a room at a reasonable rate while they make up for him having used this property as payment instead of, the platinum coins that he had promised. So the party has rescued Volo's friend Floon. They have also rescued one of the Never Ember family, a lord of the land, and have come into the possession of this manor house. They've also spoken with members of the Zentarum, a gang that arranges for things to happen. In this case, the representative of the Zentarum would like a problem taken care of. It seems there are being murders committed. Elves and half-elves are being slaughtered in the area near the docks. The City Watch hasn't taken notice yet, and the Zentarum would prefer the City Watch never know about it and the problem just go away. The party has agreed to do so and will be breaking up, I think, into 3 groups, 2 pairs and a single, while they keep an eye on a friend that they have found, a half-elven sailor who's a bit of a miserable fellow at the moment, named Heldar, who is likely to be the next target of the taverns evaluated and of the people heading out into the streets late at night. He is the only elven or half-elven person who seems to be at risk. Now, he has been drinking it up at a tavern here off of Ship Street. So, if the party takes a look at the great big map of Waterdeep, down in the lower southeasty middly bit southwesty middly built, is the dock ward, and they should see their icons. And if they zoom in as far as they possibly can, they will see their tokens at the intersection of Odd Street, Fish Street, and Ship Street, just a little bit away from Snail Street, because that's how this place is named.
Why couldn't we live on Snail Street?
Why couldn't you live on Snail Street? You could. You could sell off your estate if you could find a buyer and buy a nice place on Snail Street.
Snail Skull Manor.
Snail Skull Manor could be it. Now, Snail Street was actually, early in the development of this town renamed. When this was just a small burg, and the towns were, just basically, roadways and paths. It used to be Snail Trail, but it was upgraded later to Snail Street. So, if the party could remind me how they are planning on pairing up to keep an eye on Heldar. Now, it is late in the evening, almost to the point where morning will be coming around sooner than later. It is a spring night, so the weather is not too cold out there. You are still near the ocean, so there's that bit of spray coming in. And it looks as though it is going to rain at some point during the evening. Probably a lighter shower, nothing drenching or too heavy. But it will be unpleasant for those who are stuck out in the weather for too long. What were the pairs that came up, and is that still the plan that we have?
So we had it as Clarity and Padinka, and then Ashley and Urk, and then Simone and the Raven. And Urk was the one who found Heldar, who was drunk and was like, "Hey, cool, all right, yeah, you can follow me, sure."
Sure. So, Heldar is this blue icon right here. So if those of you who are with Heldar would please line up. Now, he is in a seedy drinking establishment at the end of this small alley off of Ship Street. In the next 20 minutes to an hour, he's likely to stagger out and start making his way back to the docks. As he leaves, he has a couple of choices. He could come out, turn left, and then another left and head down Siren Street, but that's a little bit back alleyway and twisty-turny and easy to get lost before coming out. If he goes a little bit further, he could hang a left and head down Odd Street. That's a straight shot to the docks. Or if as he comes out he hangs a right, he could head over to Stern Post Street and head down that way. Or if he's really feeling not ambitious in his navigation, he could just follow Ship Street all the way down and around and end up at the docks down there. You don't know at this point which vessel he might be returning to, so you're not sure which dock he is at. You're not that good of friends yet. So as that sort of opens up the situation, what all is everyone doing?
Well, I think we would have split up, so I don't think that we would be around this area. I think that, I don't know about Padinka, but I think Clarity would probably go towards the docks. That's where we were in the warehouse, and that's where the kidnapping was, so.
Yeah, I would follow Clarity.
So I'm just gonna stick us over there. At least one of us.
Hold on. Why can I not move?
Why can you not move? Padinka
Wait,
can't
you can't
move?
use arrow keys, you just have to use the mouse.
Oh, yes, sorry. Click and
Why'd
drag.
you do that? You know my mouse is a touchpad.
I'm an evil person is what it is. Unfortunately, this is a super zoomed in view, so that is
it's okay.
That is
There's
what
no
we're
actual
facing.
squares.
There is no squares. I could turn on squares, but they would be very unpleasantly big.
Ashley, do you think we're in the bar with him, or are we like outside leaning against the wall with our arms crossed looking cool?
I'm still puzzling at the fact that this street sounds vaguely familiar to a certain saying. I feel like we've just went right up Ship Street.
Without a paddle?
Not that. Yeah. I think we're inside.
So I have a question. Do we know that he found this guy to follow home? Or do we not know yet?
So I would think some signals have been arranged using the familiar, your Raven there. So as someone's found, they sort of lean out, wave a hat, something like that to signal that's happened. Do you have any other forms of communication amongst the party?
like
Does anyone have the
smoke signals?
well, the spell message, telepathy, is magic? There is magic. Demonic
think I do.
signals, throwing up the horns. What are we doing over there?
All good. All good. Love
I'm sliding my
life.
hand across my cap.
And bad things.
That was not intentional. I mean, I can use thaumaturgy, but that doesn't really do much for me.
Can I have the raven kind of scout up by this guy and kind of like fly nearish him and overhead where people can see where he's going?
Sure.
And then I'm probably going to try to stealth behind.
Oh, hey, Clarity. I
Yeah.
should have done this when we were all together, but have some of this action.
I literally was just about to ask if we should have done that because I have that as well.
Okay. Pass without trace. For duration, each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, can't be tracked. Yeah. Okay, cool. So yes, you may definitely have cast that and have that up for about an hour, and that does make you very, very sneaky. So at what is probably 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, Eldar's had enough, ready to go out. He's been grousing the whole time about his lot in life. He's 75 years old. He's still a sailor. He looks young. He's a half-elf. But, bad investments. Every time he comes back, he gets taxed. Where does all his money go? He asks as he drinks it away. And stumbles out into the night. Now, as he stumbles out, first question, he will be heading down in this direction and then have to come out onto Ship Street, at which point he'll make a decision. Is anyone coming with him or doing anything as he starts to make his way down the alley?
All right, so have we been noticed yet, Urk and I?
I think we should be at the opening of the street, right, Ashley?
Yeah, but you know what? We should act like we're, and I'm like whispering this to you, we should act like we're like just drunks, like going home from the bar, and then that'll be our cover. All right, let's do it.
Can I stealth on top of the building?
You could get on top of the building to stealth. Which building would you like to be on top of?
Well, he's like going down the alley away from Ship Street, right?
So he came out of the bar here.
Okay.
He's going to take a turn here, and he's going to come out into Ship Street. At that point, he could either go left or right or walk directly into a building across the way, but probably left or right.
All right. Well, then
Are you
I'm
able
just
to see
gonna
the
try
arrows I'm
to.
putting up?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm just gonna try to stealth in the shadows then. If
Okay.
I can.
Sounds good. So you're all sort of set up in that way. He starts kind of stumbling down the street. As he does, Simone, nearest to you, at the intersection of Odd and Ship Street, one of the fishmonger's carts that's set up topples. Looks like one of the wheels had given way or had finally slipped off a stone, and as it does so, just a mess of fish spill out, and they smell awful. There's just like a kind of smell to it. They had been sitting in the sun all day. They should probably have headed down to the dock to be chummed up, but they didn't get there, and just so there's a real bad odor coming from over in this direction.
I was gonna say maybe Padinka and I would have moved
Okay.
if
Where you
we had knowledge from the Raven about this situation. If we know that he's coming out of a tavern here-ish, then I was thinking we could move down here. That way, no matter which way he went down, we would be able to like kind of see where he would come out of.
Okay.
And it's usually on their way back to the ship, so I mean, I feel like that would be a good place to be.
Sounds good.
Can I or my raven see if there's like any? Well, I mean, the raven's gonna keep tag on this guy, but like, can I see if there's like a reason the cart fell over? Because that sounds a little suspicious.
Sure. So give me
Or do I have to go up to it to do that?
You can take a look from where you're at and just kind of check it out, see if there's any, beasts prowling around or somebody standing near it. How about a perception or investigation? Your choice. You glance over at it, and it's almost immediately, as soon as the fish hit the floor, some alley cats and rats and things like that popped up to take advantage of the free food, despite its odor. So it's hard to tell what might have been the cause of the problem. Hello, kitty.
What? As my kitty literally just rubbed itself against my leg.
They can tell that fish is in for the grabs. So
Yeah.
Yes, over at the intersection of Fish and Ship, the
Strip
fish,
Street?
yeah, Fish and Ships, the fish has been served, and the alley cats and rats are now fighting over it. And our man Heldar here comes out. He's sort of, he's holding his stomach, does not like, and starts to head back down this way. Now, I think Urk and Ashley, you'd mentioned that you were playing up the drunk thing. It's a good city block, which in this case happens to be about 8 to 12 shops and other such things down the way. What are you two actually doing?
I think right now, if he's gonna be going down this way, we're gonna kind of like follow him, but like we're just kind of drunk, so we're just wandering around town at this point.
We're like stumbling at a distance.
Stumbling out just because we're just hanging out talking.
At a distance, they are stumbling.
Oh,
Sweet mint wine. Supposed to spit it out, but no way, Jose, am I spitting that stuff out.
so, yeah. So as all that's taking place, the Heldar here is staggering down in this direction, just getting thinner and wider as the controls get in the way. And he'll fast approaching your area, but Ashley and Urk, from behind you, a little ways back on Presper Street, you can hear the sounds of a scuffle breaking out. Seems like there's some sort of fight or a row happening. It would be up and around the block, and perhaps behind this set of houses right here.
Oh, what's that? One of us should go check it out.
What is that?
There's some fight. We should watch it.
It's a fight. You should watch it. But yeah, you do hear the sounds of a fight breaking out there.
Can I like head down over there, kind of like to peek a little bit?
Sure, you can go ahead and start moving down in that direction.
So I
Urk will stay
wobble.
and keep an eye.
And as you kind of wobble your way down there, and you kind of look around your left towards Presper Street, it must be out of sight down here near Two Flask Alley. You don't see any signs of disturbance, but you can hear it coming from over in this direction. Louder now that you're closer.
Is there any way that I can kind of like tell what like I'm hearing? Like, is it like someone's fighting, or is there anyone calling out for help?
You don't hear any sounds like calls for help. It's more like a muffled like, and like a little thump thump thump.
Those are good noises.
Oh, that was really good. Sound like
Good
some
job.
fun's going on down
You're in the
there.
wrong career, buddy.
They're not laughing as much as I am, but yeah, no, it's a little kind of stuff. And like,
Can I tell like which direction? Like, is it coming like if I go down Presper and then make a left? I think I might be able to hear it coming
yeah, it
from
would
in there.
definitely be around that corner to the left.
So
I've never played a spellcaster really. Is there any type of like, I know in like the Elder Scrolls there's like detect life, and I know there's detect magic. Is there like a detect life type spell?
Not really. There are some that do function that way, but not the way like detect life works in Elder Scrolls.
Okay.
No, there's no like turn on your radar or you get the little pips glowing.
No, like
effect.
Sombra, I see them,
No.
type Overwatch stuff.
There are some, but they're much higher level. The lower level ones tend to be like detect undead or detect magic.
Got it.
Detecting an aberration.
So there's not like a detect elven killer.
There is,
I wish.
if you know him by name, there is a locate person, but you'd have to figure out who it is first, which might be the trick.
Elven Killer is his full name.
That is. It was written on his birth certificate, kind of
Sir Elven Killer. Thank you.
pigeonholed him at that point.
Well,
How
you
did
might
we
just
miss
be an
this?
elven stalker, and terrible things just happened.
Clumsy elven stalker, sure. So as a Armin Herald here comes down and starts to reach the corner, he looks over where Ashley and like there's a fight breaking out, and he's like, I don't want any part of that, and kind of moves past Urk. Have a good night. He's a very rough voiced sailor. Kind of starts heading down in this direction, down Sternpost Street. Now Simone.
Jeez, Simone.
Simone's like, ninja sprint, run.
So can I look over? Can I like tell that Simone is kind of like keeping a tail on that guy? If maybe Urk and I can go investigate what the sound is.
That's an excellent question. Simone, are you being obvious as you Naruto run across the street, or are you invoking your ninjutsu stealth?
So I'm stealthing, but like when I get close to Urk, I'm probably gonna be like tap him and be like,
Okay.
You doing anything about this?
So could I see a stealth check, please, to cross the street and run up on this drunk half-elven fellow?
Trying to keep some distance on him, but I just don't want anyone to see me, really.
Oh yeah, no, you're fine. You wait till the elven fellow looks at Urk, and like when those two lock eyes, that's when you do your dart, and he's no idea you're there, but Urk saw you cross the street.
Urk kind of looks over to Ashley like, what do you want me to do?
I'm gonna do like a kind of half drunken, like pointing down there, like, let's go check it out.
And you can see this. Alright. It just keeps moving down this way. Now, as it gets to about here, Ashley and Urk, you've headed off in that direction. You hear the fight. Padinka and Clarity, as you're sort of heading down. Simone, just in front of you, something drops and hits the ground and breaks. It sounds like glass shattering, and it happened just behind this half-elven fellow. And across the street, you can see behind him, between him and you, sparkling, glinting bits in the very dim light. Now, the streets are not lit particularly well. There's a few torches here and there, but there's a bit of a moon left still. The rain that's coming down is very spattery. But yeah, there's something on the road between you. The half-elf kind of looks back behind him and is like, I didn't do it, and just kind of picks up speed a little bit, heading away from it.
Wish I could detect magic. Can I investigate this again?
Sure. Could I have a perception or investigation? Your choice. Investigation. So you get down and you look carefully at these glinting bits and sort of try and work out what it was that broke. And no, this was never really actually part of anything whole at all. They're very small, spiky bits of ice. As you pick one up, it melts away in your hand. But for the moment that it was there, it was very sharp and very, very pointy. You think they would act as caltrops if you were to try and run across them. Now, a caltrop, as you might know being a thief, if you try and move across its speed, you would have to make a dexterity saving throw, or one goes in your foot. If it does, it slows you down.
I was waiting for if it does. Ouch!
It does also hurt. You take 1 point of damage, but it slows you down.
I would like to start moving down towards Sternpost Street, because I have a feeling... Is, like, the Raven signaling this to us, where he's going?
Simone?
The Raven's following him. Yeah, and it's trying to keep, like, kind of, like, a good eye on him and be kind of visible, like, so, like...
Okay,
So
so
we don't have any
line of
idea
sight
of
on him.
which street he's taken yet, then.
So Simone,
I'm trying to keep him high enough, like,
Yeah.
above the rooftop, so, like, you have a chance of spotting him, but he's kind of doing, like, he's trying to fly like a bird does. So it's not too obvious, but it's, like, obvious to us.
Quick,
Right.
act
Like,
like a bird.
you know the general area the guy's in.
So he'll kind of like swoop down, then come up high and squawk, 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 and then fly casual
Like,
for a few
maybe
seconds.
go, like if the guy pauses for a little bit, he'll go, like, settle down and roost, like, in between it, keep an eye on him, and then go fly back up again, whatever. kind of scattered.
You've got a pretty good idea. Now, I will ask Clarity, since you happen to be the one at the intersection, how familiar do you feel you are with this part of the dock ward? Do you think you know that Siren Street doesn't cut through to Stern Post?
Probably not.
Probably not. So could I have a check of whatever type you feel appropriate, something like history, maybe perception, maybe survival, to know if you hang a left here, whether you'll be able to get through or not?
It wouldn't be insight, would it?
I'd have to hear you explain to me how you were insightfully knowing it.
Okay, I'm gonna do perception.
Okay.
Like kind of like seeing the angles of the rooftops and whatever.
Sure.
I have no idea.
I'm gonna say you think if you were to do some climbing, you could get between here and there in a straight line, but otherwise you probably need to run down and keep going. So you sort of aware, but you think you could get through. You think maybe somewhere in here you could hop a fence.
I think I could get through, but I don't want to leave Padinka.
Yeah, Padinka's
Yeah,
a little...
I'm short. I don't hop fences very well.
Yeah.
Padinka is a cleric. I'm not expecting her to monkey, jump over the thing.
Is there a gap underneath that she can fit through?
Just like a little tunnel. I'm gonna keep
put her
going
over the top. I mean,
I'm gonna keep going along the docks then. But I'd like to be stealthy about it.
well, we do have pass without
You
trace.
pass without a trace.
Yeah. That's not crazy.
Yep. So you're just working your way down the docks, and you get propositioned a few times as you would working your way down along the docks. When you get noticed, but otherwise you just slide right past. Yeah? No? Not
It's
a
all
No
that
stealth
area.
check?
Oh, mute.
I think if you're passing without trace, you end up being unnoticed.
Okay.
Well, if pass without
Like-
trace makes it, it gives you +10 on your stealth rolls. You can still fail them.
Does
Okay,
it make you
well,
blend
then
in, or
let's-
does it make you disappear?
So
Well,
actually,
then-
just if you want to stealth, you can. So all you need to do is roll a stealth,
All right.
and you get a +10 to it.
22.
So 22 for clarity.
I get a 9.
19 still.
19.
19 still. So, yep, the two of you whoosh done unnoticed. Now, Clarity, out at about this point, you're on the docks and you smell a lot of fish. You
Ew.
smell fish, heads, fish guts, fish oil, just salt and all that smell. But kind of cutting through it as you get a bit closer, you pick up more of a lamp or lantern oil smell, a flammable smell as you're getting closer there.
Can I do like an investigation check to see what that might be?
Sure.
Are there oil lanterns around? Would I just kind of like not think about it?
No, this is a heavy. This is a. You're walking into it and you're like, something's wrong here. That should not.
Something's
smell.
gonna explode type
Yeah,
smell.
this should
Got
not
it.
smell like this.
Am I also in this?
Ooh, crit!
Not yet, but as soon as you catch up, you're a few steps behind Clarity, but as Clarity sort of comes up, Clarity, you can identify where there's a barrel of oil that has its top staved in. It's been punched through right at the corner of Stern Post. And looking at it, that would be bad. But even worse is it's very precariously balanced on the top of the barrel below it. So with just a little tiny bit of force, that whole barrel of oil would spill over into the street.
So The top of it is open. It has not spilled onto the street yet. Yeah.
Top of it is open. It has not spilled. It's balanced on top of another barrel right here. But just like it is just dangling dangerously over the edge.
Can I move it?
You could if you ran up to it and moved it.
Yeah, I'd like to step up to it and like set it down next to it.
Okay.
And I'll help.
All right. Now, Padinka, if I could get a perception check from you as well now.
Sure.
Oof. Oof,
This
double
looks
ones.
like a great idea with no potential complications.
I mean,
This
Jesus
is like when we
Christ.
both kicked the canoe and tossed Dad into the water.
Yeah, well, you know.
This looks like a great idea with no potential complications.
So we're up at the corner now. Is that what
You're
we're...
right. Yeah, you're right up at the corner, and you're starting to balance that set there. And our good friend, the half-elf Heldar, is not waiting for all this stuff to happen. He's continuing weaving his way down the street. Now, Ashley and Urk, you round the corner, and you don't see anything. No signs of a fight, no signs of a struggle, other than the sound, which is now just gone. It doesn't sound like people ran away. There's no disturbances in the dust. It never looks like a fight happened here, but you definitely heard it, and it was just around the corner until you got there.
This
All
is
right.
fishy.
What?
This is a
Can
little
Urk do a
fishy.
perception check? Would that...
Yeah.
We
And also,
But at
would there
this
be a
moment, we're going to ask everybody to go ahead and
oh,
add themselves to the turn order, please, as things start to happen.
Yeah.
Getting him
Apologies,
right
that
with the
first
elf.
one there was Urk.
Eldar, you're going to get an 8.
Somebody else gets here soon.
Come on, mystery friend. Okay. There is a mystery friend who you cannot see on the turn order right now. When they take their action, you will probably know about it. But right now, you don't see anything. Padinka, though, you are the first to act unbeknownst to you as things start to happen. And I think what's happening is Clarity's sort of rushed up and like gone to just like steady the barrel, just like get in front of it. Like, okay, so if I'm here, it can't fall. And you're like, okay, I think you're gonna start to move it, but then you're like, senses go on high alert. And what are you doing?
You're saying my senses go on high alert, but my senses were like very low. So what
It's
senses
exactly
are
like you've no idea why. Like maybe it's like when somebody holds up a board with the nail right here and says, could you just hammer this nail in for me? And they're holding it right behind the nail, and you're like, there's something wrong here, but I don't know what.
Okay. I mean, part of what we're doing is to be alert for this guy. So if we're up at, we're right at the corner, right?
You're up the corner.
So
And
I'm going to do a sightline check around to see where he is and anybody else in the alley,
Sure. So you can see most of the way.
including up in windows and rooftops.
Sure. You can see most of the way down the alley. You don't see anyone, windows and rooftops, other than this half-elf staggering their way along. It's late, so no one would really be out at this point. They wouldn't even be starting, the fires for cooking yet. So just a half-elf alone, staggering their way down. Now, it is fairly dark, and the distance there is actually still a good ways. I mean, he's 300 and 400 feet away from you, so outside of your dark vision. But there's a sort of half-elvenish shape making their way down towards you.
Yeah. Clarity, do you need help with this, or are you good with this right here?
I got it! It's okay, I got it!
Do I really think she has it?
Look at my arms, Padinka. Look at them. I got it.
All right. Padinka is gonna stealth her way up the alley a bit to check on this side street here.
Okay.
And to make sure that there's. She basically at this point, she sees this barrel. She knows this somebody's after this guy. She's gonna think about looking for potential pitfalls, things, other hazards that might hurt him other than just somebody coming and attacking him.
Sounds good. And what I'll ask is, just because of the size of the map, move about the distance of one of your tokens across for each round. So basically, if you just move about a token width, we'll call that about a movement.
Right about there, then.
Right about there. Sounds good. So you swing around the corner. She's got this. Definitely got this. 100% got this. And then you hear a little twink. And it sounds like something just whistled through the air and then cut a string. And that was a little weird. Usually you don't hear a whistling string cutting twang sound. And then you hear a creak and a big hammer comes down. And as the big hammer comes down, it hits the far side of the barrel that Clarity's holding. So Clarity, like a Rube Goldberg effect, just came down and hit that barrel and is about to pour it all over you. Can I please have a strength saving throw? Your DC is a 15.
Oh, man.
12 is not a 15. So you're like, I got it, and you just go down with it. And you are just covered in oil. You are highly flammable right now. That's not immediately bad, but remember, highly flammable.
I am also a tiefling, so I'm not too worried about it.
Just highly flammable.
I'm mostly like, ew, oh, it's everywhere, ew, oh.
And at that point, Simone, your raven goes crazy as a piece of the roof right above Heldar just starts to fall off. It looks like several slates are just coming down off the roof, and as they come down, they resolve a little bit more clearly to be someone wearing a cloak made of slates that match the roof. A dark elven figure lands, draws a sword, and goes to attack. He swings a scimitar twice, perhaps. The first attack, you can't see because it wasn't hidden, but unfortunately it's a crit and does a lot of damage to Heldar. Heldar falls down, bleeding from a cut to his neck. The drow swings again. Hits again. If he gets another attack, this half-elf is likely to lose his head. Simone, you can see, would be able to see if I wasn't having GM layer troubles.
I could just take my glasses off and we'll pretend it's the same thing.
That works too. You can see a drow has dropped down from the roof. He's standing next to Heldar, just slashing at his neck. What are you up to?
You think that will work on this? Let me double check this distance. Oh,
he's a ways down there. You were investigating
he's
those
way out of
caltrops.
range.
Now there are caltrops spread out all before you made of ice. And you know that in 10 minutes they'll have melted away to nothing, but right now there are icy caltrops.
I'm totally going over top of them. It's just a matter of what I do with that. So it's gonna be fun. All right, so I'm gonna, well, no, because I have to be able to hit him, but I don't know if there's anybody else here and I'm alone. Can I get onto the roof that's next to me and try to run along the top of it?
Do you have a natural climb speed?
I do not know if I have a natural climb speed.
It would be something that you had picked up as a bonus along the way. If not, then I'll just need an athletics or an acrobatics to get you up to the roof at speed.
Yeah, I just have a grappling hook and a rope on me.
Totally
So-
fine. So, yep, go ahead and hook it up there and give me either an athletics or an acrobatics as you make your way up. You will get up there. It's just a matter of how fast. You are definitely up there, but it did take you about 10 feet of movement to get up. Basically, you had to climb, and now you've got a clear shot running across the rooftops if you'd like.
Okay. Yeah, I want to use that in my bonus action to get as close as I can. Cause
Okay.
I can't stop him from getting hit, but I can at least. So do I move 2 tokens?
About 2 tokens worth. Yep.
So I'm
There-ish.
just about there. Let me move this so I can move my raven out of the way. Because I can also move my raven, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna assume he didn't notice the bird. I'm gonna have the bird fly over here and call out, try to deceive him that it's the police
Okay.
and the drow's been caught.
Okay. So the raven starts mimicking one of the guards. I think you know 2 guards. Do you choose the male or the female guard to impersonate?
The male guard.
The male guard. And what did he say that you would be using at this point?
What did we use the last time? We used this deception, was it?
Uh-huh. Go ahead and see a deception.
Please. It's not as bad as it could have been.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. The drow seems to sort of be anticipating that there might be complications. And hearing the alert of the guard, looks like he's just more intent on finishing off his work quickly and getting out of there. And you realize that there's a lot of ploys that he's set up, a lot of traps to slow people down that are approaching. Simone, anything else?
Well, my bird can't really. I don't think she can fly much farther than she did.
Yep.
Yeah, it's about the extent of it, so I can't really do anything else. But
Right. Ashley.
Do I hear the guard call out?
So yeah, you would hear what did you have him say? Stop thief?
Sure.
Is he thieving the life?
I
don't know that he's a thief.
I'm asking.
Well, it's more. I guess it was more like, stop, sir. We have you surrounded.
Okay. So Ashley, that's what you heard. You heard, "Stop, sir. We have you surrounded." Except
All
a
right,
little
so
squawky voicer.
Although it sounds like. Oh, was he there for that? Does he know what the guard sounds like?
No.
I don't think
I
so.
was.
So Ashley, you hear a male human voice that sounds like it's sick and tired of
Social.
life but used to authority, sort of like we have you surrounded. Just give up. Just don't bother me anymore. Just stop.
I just want to
Alright.
go home.
So I'm probably like right next to Urk, so I kind of like do like the quick like double tap with the back of my hand, like hear that, and then I'll start running down the street to where I heard that.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure how far I can get though.
So if you're running, go about 2 token movements. So basically, move yourself to the other side of Urk, and that'll be about what you can cover in a round.
Fun. That's as long as Urk knows that I'm going down there, that's probably all I can kind of manage.
Sure.
Maybe I'll call out too, like what's going on?
Sounds good. Now, clarity. Noise has started. You are covered in oil. What are you up to?
Am I still trapped under the barrel? Do I have to like move that off of me?
It is on top of you, but not. It's now empty. Like, it was a really heavy barrel full of oil. Now it's an empty barrel. Much lighter.
It really doused me.
Oh,
So I'm gonna use half my movement speed to stand up, I guess.
Sure.
And then, I mean, Padinka went down that way. Things are happening, so I'm just gonna kind of try and bolt.
Okay. So as you
towards
get ready
the
to
sound.
bolt and you push the barrel away, could you give me a perception check, please? You would like to get higher than a 13. So, barrel off, you stand up, you get ready to dart, and then it occurs to you, a Rube Goldberg, a classic one, would never be over in one action. And as you're like, I wonder what step 2 would be, and you look up and there's a candle that's just now falling out of a little box that was hiding its light. And it's going to be falling down towards you and land in the near future. Now, you could probably run out of the oil and be away, but if you don't stop the candle, it's probably going to light up the oil that's behind you.
Can I, like, kick it away? Like, badass, just like, bam! Like, turn upside down and kick it away?
Blow the candle out in the middle of the air.
I'm willing to hear that you could try to do this thing, but I feel like the kick it out would be an attack roll. I
feel like the armor class for a candle is pretty high because they're very small.
Actually, it's a very reasonable attack. You're attacking an object.
You know what? I don't think Clarity would think about it. I think she'd just bolt.
Okay.
She'd be like, I can get out of here fast, and that's what matters, so she's just gonna dash for it.
All right.
Alright, so if I'm dashing, my regular speed is 40, so I used half my speed, so I used 20. So I've got 60, I think, right?
Yep, so I would say you could probably make it up just next to or just past Padinka if you're heading down that way. Working in estimates here. All right, and as you come running down, behind you in dramatic fashion, just a whoosh of fire as all that lamp oil and lantern oil gets going. Now, that will burn for probably 2 or 3 rounds, and then most likely put itself out, but you can already hear some alarm coming from the dock as those are on the boats keeping lookout now see fire erupting at the end of this street. Heldar is dying and would prefer not to.
Well, hold on, wait. I wasn't done my turn.
Okay, good.
Because I can use Step of the Wind as a bonus action if I use a key point.
Okay.
So I can dash more.
Oh, sure.
So I'm going to spend 1 key point, and I'm going to dash as a bonus action. Where will that get me?
About 1 more token width away.
Even though I have 40 feet?
Token width and a smidge. Like the middle of the Essen Street.
Like that?
Sure. And at that point, you can see Heldar on the ground. You can see a shadowy figure over him. You can see the clunky cloak he's wearing that's made to blend in with the tile of the rooftops.
How far away is he generally?
About 120 feet from you.
Okay.
120, 140.
100. Yeah.
We'll give you the benefit of the doubt. And Heldar just sort of thrashes on the ground, trying to staunch the blood coming out from him. Urk, what are you up to?
So you said that Ashley heard the guard. Did Urk hear that? Like, does Urk have any idea what's happening?
So at this point, I think even if Urk hadn't heard the guard, looking over in that way, there's now a sudden flare of light from a fire starting up down there, and that's a pretty good-sized beacon. Padinka, Clarity, have you been fairly quiet, or are you starting to make some noise?
I think I'm starting to make noise.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're done with stealthing. I think we...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Urk would be following the ruckus.
Yeah.
I did kind of tap you, and I called out, like, what's going on, like a dummy.
Okay, so with where we are, I mean, my movement is only 30, so how far can I reasonably make it?
So you can move your own token width. So basically, you could move directly on top of Ashley in one move. With a dash, you could move a token ahead. So you could get basically to this spot around here. Yep, middle of the road. And that would be about what your dash. Now, as you're kind of getting to that point, you can start to see around the corner, and 200 feet away or so, you see 1 person on the ground, 1 person standing over them with a scimitar. And
okay.
If Simone's being obvious, you might see Simone, like, gazelling across the top of the roofs there.
Okay, so I'm too far to use any weapons. I think all Urk can do is yell, "Hey you! Stop it! Stop that guy!
Okay.
What are you doing?"
Not, hey, I think I know you.
Loud grunt.
Didn't we work together before?
A thing?
Oh my god, Kevin, what's up?
Does Urk recognize Kevin? Can I do a perception check?
Perception check, sure. So, you definitely don't recognize Kevin. I'm not sure if you've actually met any Dark Elf or Drow before, have you?
I feel like when I was setting up Urk's character sheet, I had this idea that he had maybe spent some time in the Underdark.
Okay. So, you might be familiar enough to know that Drow should just not be here. Like, just not their turf. But this is definitely a Drow. You caught the, black-blue tinge of the skin as he glanced over at you, and you could see his eyes glowing as they soak in every bit of light, which is a pretty intimidating sight. Perhaps as intimidating as the slight glint of metal coming from his offhand as he brings his sword up and his offhand to bear as well, pointing in your direction.
Threat, okay. Threatening.
Threat. Anything else for you?
I don't know.
Raging wouldn't do anything. I'm too far to do anything reasonably, right?
So, rage would help if you did get hit. It would reduce the damage by half if you were to get hit at this distance. So that'd be the only real benefit to rage for you at a distance. You could also either stay out as a target. You sort of have this Dark Elf's attention right now, or you could duck back behind the corner. So
okay.
That might determine whether you want to rage or not.
Yeah, so I will rage, and since Urk is kind of meant to be tanky, I will yell out like, "Hey, Drow!" and can I throw a rock or something?
Sure. Just go ahead and give me an attack roll.
I was gonna say, can I use Gemma from my sheet?
No, Gemma can only occupy one space at once. She has not mastered omnipresence yet. She's working on it.
How do we do an attack roll? Just a regular one?
Just a normal, just chicken attack roll, and we'll take the d20 out of it.
So
We're gonna work on
roll a
Schrodinger's
d20.
cannon.
What?
Either a d20 or a javelin. Either way.
Yeah, you don't hit.
Yeah, so you just grab like a clod of rock and dirt and huck it down the alleyway, and you can hear it like skittering and scattering down there. Now, Urk, give me a quick... Go ahead.
Would that be an attack because you did use your action to dash?
This was just a.
This is like a distraction attempt, not trying to hurt him.
Yeah.
And then question about rage. If you do not get hit, or if you do not hit something, you get out of rage, correct?
If you go a whole round without getting hit or making an attack, you would lose your rage. But as long as you make an attack or you suffer damage, you're fine.
But he's too far out of range at this point. It probably wouldn't be smart to do it.
At this point, the smart move would be to pull back. The I am being bait move would be to rage and make yourself obvious.
I would want to rage, because I have 3 per long rest, so I feel like it makes sense to... this guy's gonna die if...
Sure. So, Padinka. Behind you, the street is on fire. Ahead of you, an oily tiefling. What are you doing?
Do I have line of sight on the guy that went down?
You do have line of sight on the guy that went down, but he is a ways away, about 250 feet or so.
Well, then, seeing as I have nothing better to do, just checking my stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna dash forward.
Okay. So you could draw up pretty much alongside Clarity at this point. and that's going to put you in around 200 feet or so, 180 feet or so out from the pair of them. Now, this Dark Elf, you can see his head pivoting, glancing back and forth. You can see the two of you running from one direction, backlit by the fire. You can see Urk going down the other way, but Urk was the one who was throwing insults and looks like a contender. So Urk, from that glint of metal the drow is holding in one hand, a belch of fire and light erupts, and then a little ball comes hurtling towards you as he fires a pistol.
Hey,
There's guns?
I'm sorry, what?
There's guns in this D&D world?
The drow have guns.
I thought the gnomes had guns.
The drow also have guns.
Everyone has guns.
Everyone
Everyone
but
have
you.
gun but Urk.
Everyone have gun but Urk.
Gun control in Faerun, let's get it.
Let's get it. So the drow does rush towards Urk. As it does, pistol, blang. Urk does a 14 hit.
Yep.
Does Rage give you any extra armor class?
Rage does not improve your armor class. At least no rage that I'm familiar with.
Okay, then it hits.
Okay. That is 10 points of piercing damage, and then you feel the poison start to eat, which is another 7. You would half the 10 down to 5. The poison you would only resist if you are a bear barbarian. Are you a bear barbarian?
I don't believe so.
What type of barbarian did you choose?
Berserker.
Berserk.
Berserker. So not a bear barbarian. So you will take 12 total points of damage from this pistol. And then the drow tucks the pistol away and starts looking towards the wall. You have a feeling he's planning on climbing and escaping. But Simone, you're basically above and across the street at this point. What are you doing? Oh, mute.
Oh, sorry. He's going towards the wall that's right next to him.
He's going towards the wall across the way from you. It looks like he's going to plan on climbing out away
towards
from
the
you.
voice that yelled at him. Okay.
Well, he's planning on climbing up that set of walls. I don't think he's expecting the guards to be on the roof.
Is the guy down below, is he still alive or is he dead?
He
Like,
is dying.
ow.
He's not dead.
unconscious?
He is definitely unconscious, but he is bleeding
Okay.
out. He's got his hand to his neck. It looks like you interrupted the last strike that would kill him and
So
take his
I'm
head
gonna hope
off.
Padinka can get there to just at least keep him from dying.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to leap from the building and tackle this guy since we're not allowed to use weapons. And just punch the crap out of him.
I mean, he's using weapons.
Oh, he is using weapons.
is.
You're right.
Just state non-lethal.
You can non-lethal or lethal. That's up to you. I'm just saying, the law says no weapons. He's
But
definitely
he's
not
a
abiding
little,
by the
he's a
law.
little dangerous.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna try. I'm hoping I get some sort of advantage for jumping down on top of him, and
Okay.
I'm going to short sword him.
All right. So you do not have a friend in combat at the moment, unless you wanted to bring your Raven down into range.
You know what? Yeah, I will, because the Raven's not the one that's attacking him.
Okay, so here's the thing that you could do for advantage. Your Raven can do a help action, which would give you advantage. If the Raven hangs out nearby, it would also be a friend in combat, so you would have your sneak attack. So you could have advantage and a sneak attack if your Raven gets within range.
Totally doing that, at least for this first pounce.
Sure.
All right. So short sword.
22 will hit, 9 points of damage. Would you like to roll sneak attack with it?
I do want to do my sneak on this,
4 more points of sneak attack. That's 13.
and then I'm gonna offhand.
A 10 will not do, though.
Oh. And I can't disengage at this point, right?
You could disengage. You still have a bonus action.
Okay. I'm gonna try to disengage, but Just get far enough that I'm slightly out of. Actually, no. I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna have my bird fly back a little bit if I can,
Okay.
so the bird's hopefully safe.
So, Simone, you're the first one to get within, super close range with this dark elf. And for the folks at home, describe to me what he sees descending down. I'm imagining Simone's, coming off one building, the Raven's coming off the other, coming down. But what does your character look like?
So my character is. Oh, am I still
you're good.
No, I'm not. Okay. So human thief. So she's basically decked out in a lot of dark colors. She's a little crazy looking, and she has a scar on her face. So she's definitely seen some stuff. But when she dives off the building, she's probably literally trying to like swan dive and have him take all of her weight.
And he did take a sizable chunk of it, but it looks like he's a trained assassin. One, he's carrying weapons of strange but high quality make, and two, he's got a very creative camouflage suit. It's very well designed for killing people and then maybe hiding on a rooftop afterwards so that nobody notices he was ever there. But at this point, you've stepped away, and Ashley, I get to ask what you're doing.
All right, so I am rushing over. It looks like someone's shooting at Urk, but I would like to try and hopefully halt this from happening. So I think I'm able to move about here, right?
Yep, sounds about right.
And how far away is he?
So we're going to say he's probably in the 100 feet or so range. Yeah, right about 100 feet.
Okay, so what's actually kind of nice is being the... what is it called? The sniper thing that I got going on. I'm trying to bring it up.
Magical sniper doubles your range?
Does double my range, yep. So I am going to try and reach out with a cool spell of mine. Alright, I'm going to try this. It's Crown of Madness.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. How do I actually get that going, unless that's it?
Hang on. Your spell sniper might need to have an attack roll to extend it, but that's okay. Crown of Madness 120 feet anyway, so well within range. And let's see here. Humanoid of your choice. He qualifies. Concentration. Okie dokie. Succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become charmed. And let's find out an important thing about Drow. They do get advantage on this saving throw. So, wisdom saving throw. Let's see it with advantage. He's coming in at... Whoa! Yeah, you're not getting him.
Bummer.
Super smart.
Double no on that one, and I don't think that has any other effect, so that one is just a miss, unfortunately. Anything else?
I believe I have a bonus action that I can throw up. Nope, I'm not trying to do that. Nope. Okay. Or Magic Gemma.
I've got the girl.
So you have cast a spell with your action. Bonus action you could only use if you had a cantrip spell or a other bonus set. So only one full spell and one cantrip and a cantrip per round, not two full spells.
And I'm bone.
Alrighty. So then we got Clarity. Clarity, all oiled up and nowhere to go. What you doing?
I am... He's still like 120 feet or something from me, right?
He is. He did move a bit towards Urk when Urk started threatening before Simone jumped down.
I'm going to move my 40 feet.
Okay.
That'll put me like there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to use my... Hold on, wait. Let me real quick. Yeah, he's still way too far for me to do like anything.
Triple dash, dash, action dash, and key point dash.
Gemma.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
Gemma.
I do have Gemma. Hold on, wait. Let me see what the range on Gemma is.
Probably 60 feet.
Well, her range is 3120, so if I want to take a disadvantage, I could throw Gemma.
Could throw Gemma. The healing power of Gemma.
I think I am gonna triple dash, actually.
Okay. And Simone, I have an important question for you. I don't recall you yelling any warnings out about things on floor. Did you?
I did not.
Okay. Clarity, can I have a perception check from you? You want to get a 16 or higher. Sneeze.
Get wrecked. You said perception?
Perception check, please.
I also decided I'm not gonna do my triple dash.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see shit.
Could I have a dexterity saving throw? You want to get higher than a 14. You don't know what happened, but you were like, I'm gonna run, and then all of a sudden your feet were way up there and your head was way down on the floor, and just ball bearings were flying everywhere. Oily ball bearings just all over the place at this point.
At the place where I am, or would that be closer to him?
Just a little bit further back. So
okay.
Right about here, you hit where the floor was covered in ball bearings. Look like they're intended to make anyone approaching quickly slip and fall, and slip and fall you did. They're very cold. Seems like they were made of ice.
Slip sliding away.
Okay, so that would have been... Would that have been my...
That reduces your movement to 0 there, so you're flat out on your back there.
Okay, so I would have to use half of my movement to get up. So if I used a key point to do...
Hang on one second. Ball bearings. Yes, you could move. You could take half your movement to stand back up and then start moving again. If you move at more than half speed, though, you would risk falling down again.
So if I did Step of the Wind, I would be able to move 20 feet instead of the 40 feet.
Yes.
Okay. So that's probably like half a token, 3/4 of a token?
Yeah, you could basically move up right next to Heldar where he's on the ground at this point.
Like there?
Yeah, pretty close.
Okay, well, he's within 60 feet right now.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So I am going to... so I used my movement, and then I used my Step of the Wind, so that was my bonus action. So now I'm going to use my action, and I'm going to throw a dart at him.
Okay. 60 is disadvantage range on a dart?
Let me check.
I feel like they're 20-60, but I might be wrong.
They are 20-60. So actually, hold on, wait. Yeah, I'm going to use dart.
Okay.
I don't want to throw Gemma on disadvantage. I'm not going to waste her.
Disadvantage dart. No. Clinks off the slate. Now, unfortunately, Heldar is on the ground and he has not been assisted. So we need to see a 10 or higher, or Heldar will pass away. Heldar is dead.
Oh, Heldar's dead. No.
He bleeds out. Too much of the wounding. Urk. Your good half-elven friend Heldar is dead. No longer for this world. There are magics that could save him, but they're expensive to cast. What are you up to?
I guess Urk is still trying to get closer to the drow.
Okay.
So if I do a little movie dash again, where will that put me?
Movie dash will get you to within about 30 feet of him.
And then within 30 feet, I can actually throw my javelin, right?
You could definitely. Well, that would be a move and a dash, so that would have been your action.
Okay, so I can do nothing?
You would get there, and then you could growl at him menacingly.
I will do that.
Okay. I mean, it's not nothing. But now we're round to Padinka, and Padinka, unfortunately, you can see that as, Charity uses poor Heldar. Clarity uses poor Heldar as a, boost to her throw that squeezed the last bit of life out of him. And he is dead.
Yeah. So... How far away am I?
You're at about the 120-foot range? 100...
Good.
137. 137 from Clarity. Almost 200 to the elf.
Ugh. I'm gonna dash, because I got like 25 feet to my name.
And as you do get close to Clarity, you do see that ice on the floor and that grease spot where she had laid herself out. So you know the next couple of movements forward, you would have to do at half speed or risk falling down on the ice ball bearings.
Yeah. I got nothing else.
Okie doke. That's going to bring us up to our Dark Elven friend, and our Dark Elven friend is not pleased with having been attacked. Turns back towards Simone this time. Simone, pistol pointed at you, big flare of light, bang of noise, and I think a 25 is going to hit.
Yeah, 25 will hit.
25 will hit, and that will do 25 points of damage, 10 piercing, 15 poison.
That's a little rough.
And do you have the thing yet that lets you half damage on one attack?
I don't think so. The only thing I had was absorb elements, which is acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage.
Okay. Not that thing yet. So yes, 25 points of damage as this pistol roars out, and then he stuffs that pistol away and starts to reach for the next. But he still looks like he would like to get up on a roof and tries to climb. But no, cannot. Too many tools, not enough hands, and he stays on the ground about 30 feet away from Urk, about 15 feet away from Simone. And Simone...
Did I get an attack for him leaving where I am?
You had backed off from him when you disengaged before.
I thought I said I wasn't backing off in second thought.
Oh, then I missed it, and yes, you would be able to take an attack of opportunity.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So either device I want, right?
Yes, you can attack with either arm.
Okay.
That's a pretty good arm. That is 5 points of damage. Your Raven is within range still if you would like to use your sneak attack.
Or I'll use my sneak attack. We'll see how long it takes before he realizes he needs to kill a bird.
So far he has not really noticed that bird is that much of a hassle. He just thought he stuck a hand in a nest, but that's 13 more points of damage. Perhaps that'll get him to pay a little more attention. Ashley, though, what are you up to?
So, since I goofed real bad before, I am kind of mad, so I'm going to shoot a hex. And that is the bonus action one, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Bonus action
that
hex.
Boy. And then I'm going to Eldritch Blast that hexed old drow.
Alright, let's see it. 23 will hit. Let's see the hex damage.
I think it should have done it on its own. Remember last time we did that?
It did not. So there's the hex.
There we go.
So 11 on the first shot. Do you have multiple Eldritch Blasts yet?
Not yet. I
Not
think
yet.
we're leveling up some point in the near future
Some
where I
point in the near future.
should.
But not there yet. Ashley, anything else?
That's for dodging my really cool move, man.
And he responds back to you, but it seems like he's speaking in some sort of heavily accented Elven from deep below. Does anyone happen to speak Drow?
Well, what about Undercommon?
You would pick up one or two of the words that share the base language, but he's speaking in Drow.
Well,
Yeah,
screw you too, man.
I only speak Undercommon.
So you pick up a word here and there, and it's probably a bad word, but nothing totally clear. Now, Clarity, what would you like to do?
Well, I'm slippery. This guy just died.
Mm-hmm.
I'm real mad.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to get up into this guy's range, and I'm going to give him a smack.
Okay.
And I got to figure out how to get up in his range. Hold on, wait.
You're there.
Am I there?
You're good.
I'm there?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I'm going to give him a smack with my quarterstaff because I'm angry. I am not going to give him a smack with my quarterstaff. I'm going to give him a punch to the face. I'm not going to do that either.
You're just too slippery. You're going
I'm
to
too
hit him,
slippery.
and you're just sliding right off.
I'm still mad, so I'm just going to, like, take all of the, like... I'm still slippery, right? So I'm just gonna like try touching the walls and making it so that like he can't get out. I'm just gonna make everybody slippery.
Please not me.
I have a clear visual of you doing this, just rubbing up against the walls full body and going, "You can't have this either."
Right? Like I try to hit him with my stick and that's not gonna work. I'm trying to hit him with my fist and that's not gonna work. You know what? Now everything's gonna work.
I don't know that that's an effective technique, but we're going to just let it go. Heldar remains dead, unfortunately, but Urk, you're about 30 feet out, so you can close in with the drow if you so choose.
Hell yeah. So I can give him a good smack now, right?
You could definitely try to. I mean, we thought that Clarity could, but no. So...
I'm gonna hit him with the double hand axe.
Okay.
Now,
Now,
has it been a whole...
so you are raging still.
Okay.
Are you attacking recklessly? If you attack recklessly, you get advantage, but he would have advantage if he chose to hit you too.
He's gonna hit me regardless, so I'm going to attack recklessly.
Sure. So you have advantage on the attacks. You will also get a +2 to your damage from your rage. It's pretty good that you picked to do advantage on your attack because you just doubled it. So that is 10 points of damage on the first hand axe. That's a double crit, so that's enough.
Give me all smack smack.
That is a lot of damage. That's 25 points of damage.
You saw Clarity struggling, you were like, oh my god, let me just do it,
I got
please.
that.
Yeah, that hurt. That hurt a lot. So far, he was, taking these with some amount of, machismo.
Hubris.
Yeah, this one hurt. This one has him staggering. And Padinka. What do we got?
Yeah. How dead does he look?
He looks hurt. He looks pretty badly hurt. Are we talking Heldar?
No, I know Heldar's dead.
Yeah. The drow doesn't look like he could take another round like that.
I'm a little torn because Padinka's pretty pissed off that she couldn't get to the guy in time to save his life. But you know what? This is probably what she do, so let's just do it.
Oh, no! He's too slippery.
And that she's going to move forward her movement, so.
Okay. So as everybody closes up, you can see the drow's nose wrinkling, and then he realizes why, and he turns, and he jams his pistol into Clarity's midsection and then pulls the trigger. Clarity, if this hits you, you will take that damage and the oil will go fwoom. Clarity, 21's probably going to get you.
Yeah.
You only take the first half of that, so hang on. That is the... Wait, what happened there? Oh, you just got really good on the poison. You take 24 points of damage, and you are on fire.
That's including the poison, right?
24 including the poison. 6
Okay.
plus 18. You took the first of each of the pairs.
Okay, so I'm at 1, but I'm gonna use my reaction to use Hellish Rebuke.
Okay.
And is he close enough that I would have like gotten oil on him?
He is right in your face. I mean, he's
I
got
punched
a gun
him,
in
right?
your gut. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna use Hellish Rebuke, and I'm gonna get some oil on him.
Okay. See some Hellish Rebuke. DC 11 Dexterity saving throw. He does pass that. So he's taking half. Still 9 points of fire damage. There are bits of flame on him, but you are burning. He just has flare spots. You will need to be put out, or at the beginning of your turn, you will take 1d4 points of damage, if someone so chooses to put you out. Simone, however, what are you doing?
Well, I'm feeling mildly stupid because I forgot to take my attack in addition to the attack of opportunity on my last turn. But so I'm gonna try to beat the snot out of him.
Okay. 16,
Is anybody going to try to keep this guy alive?
16 will miss. 27's going to hit, and 10's a respectable amount of damage. He looks like he's reeling, but still standing.
Do I get to do my sneak?
You do get to do your sneak, and you do get to roll 6d6s worth of damage, because it's a crit.
Oh, 66s. Okay.
Normally you're 3d6? 2d6.
2d6.
Oh, so sorry, 4d6s worth of damage.
46 worth of damage. And I'm going to do this non-lethal, because
Okay.
I'm going to be like, I'm real angry, but if we don't find out why this is happening, I'm going to be even angrier.
The additional 15 points of damage is enough to put him down. He goes unconscious before you. Simone, any other activity?
Do
I'm
I
on
have
fire.
anything on me? I have a water skin on me from when we were traveling before.
Okay.
Can I assume that's filled with water, even if it's probably really rancid, and I try to pour that on?
It is. You could
And like get her to like drop and roll.
you could
like,
get
I
the
just
water
rub her
skin out,
shirt.
but you wouldn't have enough action left to really coat her, like to wash the oil away the way you would need to. Someone
What
would
about the
need to
raven?
take an action.
Could the raven do it?
I would.
Or the raven can only hand it to her?
How about some sort of check from the raven? How about a dexterity check from the raven, and we'll set it at a 10 to between.
How do I do that from the raven? Because his
Uh,
dexterity is 14 plus 2.
So if you just go ahead and roll a d20, we'll add 2 to it, and we'll see if that comes up above 10. Oh yeah. So Simone, between you squirting the water and the raven kind of sacrificing
its
itself
wings.
to just get the oil out and down, and
Thank you.
if the raven goes away, it comes back. But that will take us out of turn order. Badoop. Heldar is dead. You have an unconscious drow. He's carrying 4 odd weapons. They seem to be single-fire pistols. One of them has not yet been fired.
I don't like that.
And
I'm gonna grab my grappling hook that I left behind, and I'm gonna tie him up.
okay, now you do
I'm
know.
gonna use my fuzzy handcuffs for that, babe.
Okay.
Now you do know that the southwest part of this street is on fire. You have been fighting. It's only been a few seconds, like only a minute's passed. But you may not, or you might want to stick around, depending on how you want to do these things.
Is there a bar nearby?
He just left a bar off of Ship Street back over here, but you know he was in it till closing, so they are closed up or closing up right now. It's only a few minutes ago.
Guys, we need to get Haldir and this guy out of sight. So you guys do that. I'm gonna head back to the fire and try to help put it out.
I'm gonna try to use my raven to scream as loudly fire on Stern Post Street.
Okay.
Come help put it out.
Okay. So who is staying to help with the fire?
I mean, I kind of am covered in oil still a little
Yeah,
bit.
you should not
stay. You
So
shouldn't stay, and Urk's really strong, so Urk should help carrying.
I'll stay by. I'll help with the fire.
Okay. So here, Ashley and Padinka are staying, and the others are starting to scoot away. So we'll say that you are scooted away for now. You're not in the immediate vicinity as people start to show up. And as they are starting to show up... What's that?
Before I go, can I tell them both to take a swig of the wine so that way it looks like they were both just coming home from perusing?
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll just take the bottle, actually.
I feel like Ashley may already be carrying several bottles of mint wine.
There you go. Cool, I bought some.
I feel like that's been determined.
I mean, you
as
were
a
at the
weakness.
bar just now talking to a guy, so
That's right. So I'm gonna show my bottle of mint wine. I'm like, I got it.
Okay. All right. So
Gone.
So Padinka and Ashley, as sailors start coming off the boats, guards start coming over. Everybody's scooping water out of the ocean, dumping on the oil, making sure they're separating things, that sort of stuff. Could I have a charisma-based check of choice to convince others that you're just here to help? You didn't have anything to do with it. We're not the droids you're looking for kind of situation. I'm willing to hear a persuasion, an intimidation, a straight-up charisma, however you feel you would, even a stealth maybe, that you would just avoid notice.
So that was kind of crazy, man. That just fell right down and started that whole fire. What? You know what? I need to lay off this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Were we leaving Heldar's body there?
No, you're taking him with you.
So we got Heldar and the what-you-call-it guy.
The drow. We have both
got it.
Heldar. We have both of them.
Got it.
Should that have been more of a deception check?
I think that's fine. You're both doing well there. So as you're making your way into the city, and as you are dealing with the fire, I do need to ask the party, where are they heading with this body and captive? You do have a home.
No. Do we know the dock that Urk's sister works at?
So you do know where the down here on Dock Street, a little further to the south and west, where Yagra has one of the fronts that the Zentarum use. She's not really a waitress. Waitresses don't tend to, fight that much, but she works there.
I see you've never met a waitress. They'll punch you.
She's a little more fighty.
She's not a waitress.
Wink.
She's a thug.
She's serving you a little fish sandwich.
Yeah. She's serving face. She's serving body.
She's a thug.
All the important parts.
She's there, but
So I'm gonna recommend that we go there, and we'll have the Raven scout to make sure like it's relatively clear where we're going.
Okay. So could I get a stealth roll from whoever is plotting the path?
You want me to roll?
Yes, please. Oh,
Sure.
wait, hold on. Do I still have oh my gosh, what's it called?
The pass without
Pass
trace?
without a trace?
Yeah.
Who
No,
had-
you lost that once you started in combat.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So yes, Simone, please. Oh, Simone.
Is anyone giving me advantage on this roll?
So, Simone, you start making your way, and it's just a busy night. I mean, there's a fire on the docks, and people are starting to go and head in that direction. So, as you're trying to make your way south, and everyone's kind of trying to head their way north to go check on their shops and that sort of thing, it's just a very difficult time. You're not making a lot of progress. As that's all taking place, guards and city watch are moving past, and they sort of look over at you, and you're sporting 2 unconscious bodies at this point. Go ahead.
Clarity's bloodied to hell. Like, I have 1 hit point.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, like, we could kind of make it like, oh my god, like, I still have burns on me, right? Like, we just got out of the fire, blah, 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 you know? That kind of thing.
Okay.
Except that
Hiding the handcuffs. Like I'm trying to carry him like and you can't tell, like I have his arm over me.
He's
And, like,
got
I'm covering- I'm
piles
like covering the handcuff with my other hand. I'm kind of like I'm just trying to get him home.
Okay. Now, I had mentioned something about this particular individual earlier.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. So, Urk had recognized it. Others may or may not. And you may not know about racial sensitivity towards drow. But you are carrying a drow through the streets. So it sounds like you were giving a little bit of maybe a performance deception to say, hey, you know, we're just trying to get him home. You know, pay no attention. Could I see a roll for whoever is fronting that effort?
you said performance or deception?
I have a 2
or
and
or
no.
something else. I was hearing sort of a performance-y, deception-y sort of thing.
These are not the drow you're looking for.
That would be like an intimidation-y kind of thing.
What do you have, Simone? Because ours are...
I haven't. We're not looking too good.
So acrobatics is an 8.
How is acrobatics gonna help us?
I don't know.
Simone does a funny dance.
Arcana is a 5. Investigation is a 5. Nature is a 5. I could make it pretend like he's talking, like a puppet.
Like a puppet!
Ventriloquism.
I have sleight of hand and I have stealth.
You shove your hand way up his butt.
So you can weaken it, Bernie's this.
Could I do just like an intimidation check and be like, if you talk, you die?
What about like I mean,
Urk could do that. Urk could like get up, you know, drunk orc in the face kind of thing.
Urk's kind of got street cred too. I mean, his sister, like, isn't this kind of Zent territory?
Well, these are guards. So these are city watch people that are starting to pay
Yeah, but-
attention to you. So this would
So,
be
like,
a more, you know, it's not worth your time to get in my way kind of thing, but still being polite about it. Like,
Should I go for it? What do you think, Simone?
Do it. Do it. It seems like you would step up in this instance.
All right, let's see it, Urk.
Oh!
All right. So
We're going to jail, kids.
Urk, you sort of start to like step up, and you know the guards people are like, wait, what? And they sort of step up, and you both like get in your face. And one was like, this dude's not stepping up. This dude's dead. So
Did I make it worse?
I mean, it
Can
was
I-
getting bad. You didn't get out of the
Can I-
situation.
Can I try to explain that we're trying to bring him back to the elf guy, who I can't remember his name?
I don't know that using his name would be good with the guards.
That's probably a bad idea, isn't that? That's probably a bad idea, right? Because they don't like.
That would be like, we're just trying to get his body back to Al Capone. It'll be fine. Like, yeah, probably not.
I'll just say we caught him starting the fire, and we didn't know what his deal was or where he worked. And
Clarity starts crying like, please can we just go home? I'm hurting.
Okay, so
We were just trying to get him out of the area and let you guys take care of the fire first before dealing with this guy.
So are you trying to blame Heldar for starting the fire?
No, I'm gonna blame the drow.
You're gonna blame the drow. Okay. So and the
Because
drow.
I'm gonna be like, look at her. She didn't set herself on fire like that. Nobody fucking does that shit.
Okay, and the drow is currently handcuffed with fuzzy handcuffs.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty beat up. You're all looking a little beat up. And you are going to blame the drow as the fire starter.
I mean, he kind of already has like I don't want to be racist here. He is a drow, and in this universe,
yeah, in universe,
there's a lot of prejudice towards drow.
Yep.
So it would be understandable for us to
have committed a hate crime.
I don't like this.
So
I mean, technically he did start the fire,
only
so it's not
punched
lying.
him.
Yeah, so let's roll back for a second here. Legitimately, the drow did start the fire. Legitimately, the drow did commit murder. So this is a murderous arsonist drow. Proven,
so it would not be,
down. You're not
it would
lying.
Not be, we're not putting the blame on him.
So,
we are giving him the blame he rightfully earned.
Right. So here's the only thing that you're doing that's a little dishonest. Okay? You are not mentioning that you were hired to stop this drow. Okay? Like, you're not mentioning that you are illegally employed to assassinate the assassin.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that's fine.
Could I have your choice?
We were just trying to stop him.
Yep. Could I have your choice whether your character believes this story or not? If your character believes they're telling the truth, persuasion. If they think they're lying, deception. And this would be turning over the drow to the authorities.
I mean,
I think his charisma.
Out of character, is everybody okay with this? Because this is where I am right now. I'm like, I want to know what's going on, but like
I think our job was to make sure that another murder didn't happen, and if he is taken care of, then another murder won't happen, kind of. So I think that Clarity's just like, let's just get this guy out of here. I am mad at him. I don't want to see him ever again in my life. Let them hang him, please.
Urk cares about the money. I mean, he wants this guy dead, but if we did what we had to do, then yeah.
Okay. All right, so let me see. There we go.
Wowza. Finally a good roll.
Simone's like, yeah, here, we want to turn him over to you. And then the attention shifts to Heldar. The dead person. What are you claiming Heldar's deal is?
The drow killed him?
The drow has the scimitars with the blood on him.
What I'll explain is the drow started the fire to distract, like as we were walking by, to distract us. And we found the dead body, which is all true.
Okay. All right. So are you turning over Heldar's body to the police as well?
Yeah, we don't have any use for him.
Okay.
What are we going to do? Take him home and stuff him? Like what?
All right.
With the dead horse. We're going to keep him with the dead horse.
Oh, we put them together and then we have them outside and they're our mascot.
All right.
Yeah, we're turning over
a flesh crow.
This is not the Necromancer's Tavern.
It's the dead drow.
We're here to get rid of the necromancer. This is just to entice him to come in.
So, the party turns over the drow weapons, as well as the body of Heldar to the Watch. The Watch seem not entirely okay with this, but they're willing to let it slide. And they're like, go, get. And then they're like, yes, we defeated a drow. We've caught them. You can already hear them taking full credit as you start to move away.
Back, but put out the fire.
The fire seems to be getting taken care of. The businesses are not willing to let the city burn just to come congratulate some drow killers. But the party makes their way out and away, and eventually winding through the towns and streets back to their own home, I think. at Trollskull Manor. So we'll click over to there for a second. Now, you have eliminated the drow, but you didn't prevent the death of the half-elf or elf. So, as far as your contract or what you were hired to do is concerned, you sort of passed-failed it. No more elves and half-elves will die, but one more did die. So when you go to talk to your Zentarum friend, you might want to keep that one in mind. But you've got some time before then and now, time during the night to rest and recover and do other such things. Is there anything that you would all like to be doing between 2 a.m. and, 10 a.m. the next morning?
Clarity's just hitting the pillow and out.
Okay.
I'm staying up a little late and kind of drinking.
Okay.
Ashley, our budding alcoholic.
I'm a little bummed about how that went.
Okay, so Ashley's awake.
Yeah,
Clary's asleep.
I think Padinka is gonna stay awake a little longer. I mean, she wants to heal up and whatnot, but rest up. She only lost like 2 spells, but she's really frustrated with how that went.
Okay.
Feeling Simone would want to make sure she's recuperated, but she probably is also kind of, because she knows what happens at night on the street. She's gonna go checking up on some of the ladies who were out there to make sure that they're okay and safe.
Okay. Sounds good. And for those who are hanging out in the house, which sounds like Padinka and Ashley mainly, Urk, what are you up to?
Urk's just gonna go to bed,
Okay.
sleep it off.
So Ashley and Padinka, could I have a religion check from each of you?
Oh, did we buy a haunted house?
We did, remember? All the shoes pointed towards the door.
I'm the only one who's not being haunted, so I don't
Oh,
know what you
dang!
guys are
You
complaining
said
about.
perception?
Religion, please. Religion.
Religion.
Ashley knows what's up.
Did
It's his
that-
alcohol.
It's the
Did that
alcohol.
not go?
Oh, I didn't see
There
it.
we go.
There it goes. So, Ashley, you're way into the mint wine. You're in a minty paradise. But pouring one out for your homies and such. Making the proper gestures. But Padinka, I think, just didn't quite pull it together. And it's been raining off and on, and Padinka, every once in a while, you just hear a crack of thunder that sounds just like the gun as it went off in Clarity's gut, and that the flash, just lights up, and then you see Clarity burning again, and just over and over. Each time that thunder crack, the lightning flash and just flames throughout the night. And I think maybe the next day, when you mention the violence of the storm, or when maybe Simone comes back in, nobody else noticed any thunder or lightning. It was a very mild evening, no such storm, at least according to the rest.
Cool.
Now, we're at a good spot for a quick break, unless everybody's scampered out and grabbed their own. So how about we do 2 to 5 minutes for whatever things need to happen?
Sounds good.
Okay, and we'll
Be
pick
right
back
back.
up as we do. Aw, look at that. And most people look like they're back and mostly settled in. Ashley, are you there, or are you still... Oh, you had to grab food. That's right, we interrupted you even before you got food.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Padinka's having a bad night, guys.
It's a rough night.
To be fair, I think Clarity's
It's
having
a
a bad night
little-
too.
You know what? This is a good time to talk about PTSD.
Her
And the fact that if you do have PTSD, you can go and get help for it.
her pink bubblegum friend got hurt. The guy that they were supposed to protect died. And now she's having storm visions without, like, an actual storm. She's, like, really praying to her deity and being like, what the fuck is going on?
And her daughter is somewhere with the necromancer now. She knows.
That's, that's
Icing on the
just-
cake.
Yeah.
She's like, no, he's teaching her things. She's fine. And I'm like, he plays with dead people.
You're
How do you know
assuming
he kept her alive?
You're assuming I'm saying that he's teaching her. I'm sure that she's looking for an escape. I'm sure that my daughter is smarter than to fall in with a necromancer and, like, placate him. Like, I'm sure she's got some, like, back-end thing going.
My character's evidently oddly religious because I got all that stuff right. Don't you think that crack of thunder may have been your subconscious or God telling you that you should be paying more attention to the important things in life and not just caring about yourself?
Like a tiefling covered in oil. Like, come on, slipping right
So,
past you. Slipped right
Are
out.
you okay, by the way?
Slipped
Are you
right
okay,
under your
by the
radar.
way?
No,
Do you
hold
want?
on.
Do you
Hold on,
need
just
any
hold
balm or anything?
No, just
Maybe
hold
Urt
your,
can help you.
hold yourself back right now, because I was running my life out trying to get to places, and my legs are just too damn short to be effective.
So...
I come downstairs.
I need roller skates.
right.
That's what God's telling me. I need roller skates.
And I like grab like
Thunder
kind
and
of an
lightning.
old cup, and I pour some of my mint wine as like my first drink. And I actually then hand that tiny cup over to Padinka, and I'm like, listen, anytime your god tries to tell you something, just drown it out. And then I hand her
I'm
the cup and I drink the
cleric!
bottle.
What I hear you saying is no fire breathers on Friday night.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Not
boy.
around
Yeah.
Ashley or Clarity.
So...
Hold on real quick. We got a bathroom run and I gotta fill up my water bottle.
Okay, go for it, go for
I
it.
was sorry. I was taking notes, so I didn't actually get up and do anything.
Not a problem.
That sounds like a you problem. Ugh. This is stressful, Casey. This is more stressful for me doing this than it was for Erie to die in TPK.
It's
Won't lie, there is a
sometimes-
part of this that's a little bit more anxiety ridden.
Oh,
Especially
she's-
for Simone, because Simone's like a high-strung person.
She's like, Jesus, I didn't do any fucking thing. I was always in the wrong place. I was always doing the wrong thing. Like,
What happens when the party splits up? I asked Dirk what he was doing, and he went to an alley with the other guy. Of
The other
course
guy.
they're
I
gonna
can't
go.
even remember his
course-
name.
Of course they're gonna go watch a fight.
Mr. Mintman.
Well, that just... And then I just drink a little bit more.
Look, the only time you go to see a fight is to see if they're fighting over you. That's the only time women ever go to a fight.
Yeah, we didn't.
I
Clarity
thought
comes down.
that
Okay.
Maybe who we were looking for maybe wasn't actually the guy we were following. What if?
And he just cuts out.
What if on the floor? And I'm like, exactly, what if that?
Clarity comes
I
down
like
with like a
that better,
blanket
but
and is
I
like,
actually
"Can you
said
guys
I
be
drink.
quiet? Like I'm trying to sleep."
So
I
This
just
was the
wanted a
next
glass
morning,
of
honey.
water.
So it is the next morning. It's gotten to be about 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's just been a gray, drizzly day. That storm from last night, it was never really a storm. It was just always just a sprinkle of water. It's just become a steady, misty rain, just enough to build up on the roof and run off into a little rivulet, hitting the ground, turn everything muddy. and sort of drear out there. Parties having their conversation and sort of talking through the events, and then you hear a boom, 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 boom on the door frame outside, and it's one of those heavy hits that kind of make you jump out of your chair. If you're the sort to do that.
Padinka's gonna go to the door. She knows what's coming, basically. She's ready to face this. She's got circles under her eyes, and she's like, yeah, what the fuck else can go wrong? Opens the door.
Okay.
Clarity jumps out of her chair.
As you do so, Yagra's standing in the doorway, and she's sort of looking down at you. She's like, come on.
Yeah, I know. Come on in.
Yeah, well, I can't actually, but DeVille wants to talk to you over
Great.
at the Yawning Portal, his regular place. Come
Good.
on.
Let's
Anyway.
go get thrown down the yawning portal.
Yeah, be there by lunch. Don't be there after lunch. And if you're not going to be there after lunch, be very far away. And then she just kind of turns and walks off into the rain, sort of like, you can see she's pissed. So you've got about 2 hours between now and when DeVille would like you to be at the Yawning Portal Tavern. Anything you're all doing between then and now?
Is this guy really mad? Is he really mad? We stopped the guy. We stopped him.
Going over to Ashley and taking all of his bottles of wine and being like, honey,
I need
I'm not gonna tell you to stop drinking. I'm just gonna hold on to them for right now because we need to be a little more sober when we talk to this guy, okay?
But I need
I know you need them, sweetie.
Can I slide a hand
like
a bottle from
I
her?
promise. Yeah, I'm sliding them behind my back to Simone.
No. I
I'm
want to
laying on
slide
the
a hand
floor,
a
too,
bottle
with my hand
from
up.
you. I'm going to
From
take a
me?
bottle from you. Yeah.
Back to Ashley?
I didn't say I was going to give it back to him. I'm just going to
Okay.
slide a hand
Yes,
a bottle from
please.
you. Or, like, I'll try to pull on it, and if you give me any resistance, then I'm going to slide a
No,
hand you.
I totally give it to you freewheeling.
Okay.
So, anything else during the 2 hours aside from a little drinking, maybe?
No, Padinka's like gathering her shit, and she's just like throwing things around, and then at some point she's gonna turn to Clarity and just be like, "And you need to be more careful. I can't just save you every time. You almost died. I couldn't handle it if you died. Okay?"
Okay. She was just like sitting there at the counter of the big bar, and she was just like counting her gold coins to see how much she had for lunch. Because she was like, oh, we have to go there before lunch. All right, cool, we're gonna have lunch, cool.
Urk looks
I'm
at
gonna refill
Clarity
my
and is
waters.
like, death is honorable.
Yeah. I'm going to refill my water skin, and then I'm going to be ready to go.
So,
Anybody else have anything to do? Because I'm ready. Let's go.
Thank you for the dirty water, Simone.
Anytime. It's fresher this time, in case there's a round 2.
Cool. Fire doesn't usually get me, but whatever that was did.
So you head out into the rain and make your way to the Yawning Portal. Now the portal is still lively and boisterous. There's the giant pit, there's the big winch to let you up and down, there's all the people scattered around. DeVille's waiting for you in a private room that's off the main tavern. It's one that he keeps rented out, and from what you've picked up and what Urk knows from Yagra's dealing, this is where he normally conducts business. It was a sign of honor, sign of good faith that he came to your tavern to speak to you last time. Now you're being called into his office. Kinda, like being called into the principal's office or something along those lines. You're no longer getting special treatment. Yagra's waiting outside the door. When she sees you coming in, she just opens up the door and gestures you in. Doesn't look like she wants to talk.
Urk whispers like you could do any better.
She's like gesturing to her marks of rank. She's like, it didn't even pass the interview. Yeah. What? What you gonna do? Anyway, so there's a little flex off going on there. And then you step inside. Now, DeVille looks as he usually does, very well made up. He's an very well made up. He's a affluent elven fellow, still keeps himself in good shape, and he's sitting behind a desk, and he looks relaxed as you come in, and then Yagra pulls the door closed once all of you are inside, and he just sort of leans towards like, So, you want to explain what happened?
Well, you see, there was a lot of oil,
Yeah.
and I slipped,
Okay.
and it was not a fun time.
We fucked up.
Yeah.
We did not. Well, we didn't accomplish everything you wanted. But either you didn't tell us everything, or there was some other shit going down. Sorry, not laughing in person, but
Sorry.
in character, I just can't say that without laughing.
So he's like, so look, this
There
is
was
what...
a lot of weird things happening out there.
Yeah?
This wasn't done by just a typical person.
Typical
was a
people
drow.
don't murder elves.
Yes, but how often do you see it where somebody sets trap upon trap upon trap upon trap upon trap just to kill one elf? There is something else going on here, and there has to be somebody behind it.
Padinka's head snaps up. Yeah, why were there so many traps for one drunk? That was more like the traps were set up for us, like he knew we were coming.
So what were you doing last night?
So what I was doing last night was keeping an ear out for what was going on. And here's what I heard. I heard there was a fire down by the docks. I heard that there was a murder in the street, and that a group of individuals assisted a group of guards in capturing and killing a drow.
We didn't kill the drow.
He was unconscious when we handed him over to the guards.
He was stable when we handed him over.
All right. Do you have any proof of that?
You have my word that I was the last one to hit him, and he was still breathing.
Yeah. Let's try this again. Guards have claimed that there was a drow caught and killed who started a fire and murdered a half-elf.
I mean, 3 out of 4 is not bad.
So, what we wanted to have happen was the murderer was to be stopped. No more elves and half-elves were to be dying. And we were supposed to keep this quiet for the guards. Now,
Well, we
You
tried
stopped
to
the
get the
murders.
drow back to Yagra's place. It just so happens the guards came up on us with
yeah,
this one completely burned, a
Yeah.
dead guy, and an unconscious drow on my back.
yeah.
Out
So,
of-
And
I
you
don't
think
think
they're
that-
not going to ask questions when there's a fire down the road, and we tried to get him to the closest safe house we could think of.
what
Out
I'm
of
hearing is
character?
the 5 of you who had all the same opportunity to set traps for one drow got outsmarted by the drow, still managed to capture him. I'll give you credit for that. But you didn't save that half-elf, and you still involved the guards. Do you see where that's not exactly what we were asking for?
Yeah, we got 3 out of a 3 wrong. We get it.
All right. So, we're going to call this one a wash. You're not getting paid, but we're not going to hold it against you. Fair?
Hey, you're not killing us. That's a good start.
I'm not going to kill you.
So what would you have us do next? At this point, I'm probably sobered up, right?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean,
I hope.
you're at least at, if not sober, you're at least at, manageable level. To whichever point you want to be, though. Like, if you want to be coming in here drunk, I don't advise it, but it is possible.
No,
I would think
Padinka was shoving water down his throat,
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Showing
yeah,
up to
I
a
feel like
bar,
I did okay. I'm alright.
showing up to a bar already drunk is kind of a problem.
Yeah,
I mean-
at noon, there's probably a flag there.
So I want to bring up the weird pistols. Because it doesn't seem like something... Like, I don't know much about drows, but I've never seen a gun like that before. Or
What's a
anything
gun?
like that. And why would the guards kill the drow after they have him?
Because he's a
Unless-
murderer?
Are they the ones setting this up?
So look,
Because this seems really, really sketchy, and like there's something much bigger going on here.
Is there
Like, I
any?
don't think there won't be any more elf deaths from this.
That's what I was gonna think about. Is there any way that like I can know a little bit more about drows? Like would my character knowing some about undercommon, like I would think that, and I'll say this: how do we know there's not more drow in this city looking to do harm?
Okay. So how about a history check, I feel? And this might be something you would have done in the time between the lead up to here. So we'll do a little time traveling to go back to the 2 hours you had. How about a history check on the drow?
Oh, great.
I have a 4 to history if the
Okay.
What was that singing that just happened, by the way, with the...
Oh, if I could turn
Oh,
back
okay.
time.
I saw the lips moving. I couldn't find the song though. So a 17 is actually pretty good. So the drow are from the Underdark, much like the deep gnomes, which are the Snurfiblin, Illithids or Ithlids, which are the squid folk, and
Snurfiblin?
Snurfiblins. They're the deep gnomes.
The Smurfs.
Snurfiblins, yes. And other such deep-dwelling races. The drow really should not be on the surface. They are hyper-allergic to the sun, on par with like the vampires and other such things. So you will only see them in the deepest, darkest of the night. You hear that there's rumor of like 1 or 2 special snowflake drow who spend time on the surface, but that's probably just make-believe.
I met Drist.
What's that?
I shook his hand.
You shook his hand. It's imaginary hand.
Mr. Drist, it's a pleasure, sir.
It's a pleasure, sir. Yes. So, but drow, like some other races, have intrinsic magic that makes them very difficult to keep a handle on in captivity, especially if you're just a guards person. Most likely, if you're just a guards person and you're faced with a murderous arsonist drow, it's going to be a lot easier on everyone if he was not captured, but was killed instead. So you could see where, with that, the guards people were probably doing themselves and everyone else a favor by taking this drow out, rather than putting him up and potentially, a captive drow means maybe there's going to be a drow rescue force.
I mean, he's a trained assassin. Maybe he'll get himself out.
Also a possibility. And you might know some of the rumors about drow that they can make other enemies glow with a fairy fire effect so that it's easier to kill them, that they can cause darkness at will. Other weird things you may know about them: they can fly if they want to. That one seems a little sketchy. But there's just weirdness around them. And of course, he had whatever that pistol was, so they have they have levitate. Drow have levitate at will. It's in there. He's got it.
But he didn't levitate.
I'm looking.
He did not. Levitate is a slow effect, though.
Okay.
And he can only do it once per day, so perhaps he had already used it. So you would know that about drow in the background. So as you're speaking to DeVille, you bring up other drow. There's other drow. A lot of people have
Explain
interests.
the whole entire kit that this drow had. Like, this doesn't seem like something that just some guy just happens to get to go murder elves. This seems like a setup where, like, feels like there's something bigger going on.
So,
Not one person could put that many traps down.
Well,
with enough time they could, which means they were well and ready for us.
And knew that he'd go down that alley.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about these traps. What was really there?
The first one that happened was there was the market stall that had been out there all day with smelly fish was knocked over.
Okay.
I didn't see anything amiss there when I looked at it, so I kept going. Those two went off after a street brawl that sounded like it was going on. I don't know what happened there, but I do know that when I rounded the corner, seemed like something shattered on the ground, and there was a bunch of ice balls on the ground that basically made you slip and fall.
And there was a big
Yeah.
barrel that had the top smashed in or something. I don't know what happened, but it was like teetering, and I tried to pick it up, and then it just got all over me, and then there was like a whole machine, and an arrow flew, and like things were crazy, and there was a candle. Like, I don't... Where did it come from?
It's like as if this was actually making this guy. He avoided that noise, whereas I might have thought that there was something to check out there, which took us off the scent.
Did you guys even
But
find anything?
Okay.
There was nothing there.
So look. It sounds like you haven't done a lot of work that involves making a target go where you want. But let me kind of lay out what might have happened. So this half-elf that he wanted to kill, sounds like he had a choice. As he was coming out, he could go 2 directions. And just before that half-elf had to make the choice, he made one of the directions very unappealing. That's not a hard trick. You could do that a couple of ways. If you got magic, mage hand, knock it over. If you don't have magic, you could throw a rock, tie a piece of string, weaken an axle, whatever you need to do. So that makes him go one way. And it sounds like he had another choice, and he made the sounds of a fight. So the drunk went away from the fight. You all ran towards it. You decided what to do, but that's a thing. So that puts him in that street that you had. Now, at both ends of the street, sounds like he had a way set up that if the half-elf got away, it would slow him down. Had the ice on one side, had the oil on the other. Oil only if necessary. Sounded like he had to set that one off. So, I mean, you ran into some trouble, but it sounds like this was all set up to kill that half-elf. This guy does sound like he was definitely over-prepared for it. But if you're gonna hunt people...
Why is he targeting the elves?
Yeah, on that one.
Do they all work for you?
What's that? The elves? No, these are just sailors. Wouldn't know them from anyone, but...
What ties them together? All the ones that have died? Because he's clearly trying to send a message.
If it's a drow, them just being of elven blood might be enough. Drow don't get along with the surface elves so much. And now the thing that's got me a little worried is these pistols that you're talking about. That's Lantanese.
He also had a super fancy cape.
Yeah, that's the pistols. That's a Lantanese thing. They're like crossbows. They only work once. Then you have to tinker with them or something. But they hurt, and they're small.
Yes, they do.
And
yeah,
now,
almost killed me.
Yeah, I'm glad you made it. But would have preferred those not get turned over to the watch. So next time, if there's a next time, let's keep it a little more clandestine. But since this sort of work in the city doesn't seem like it's real well suited to you, maybe we start you off at a little something a little more entry level. I've got a package that I need picked up and delivered. I need it picked up and delivered safely. No muss, no fuss, no questions. I can tell you what it is. You won't always find out what it is in the future. That's a problem for y'all. It's fine. But tell me it's a problem for y'all now.
I mean, if it's not like people, then I think we're okay.
So when we say no questions, it also kind of means no conditions.
If it pays, it pays.
I don't think I'm okay. Am I okay with that?
I feel like Simone would have an issue with this because she's not into human trafficking.
Yeah, I'm not okay with that. These are people.
Like I'm okay doing work up to a point, but I don't get involved in anything that involves the trafficking of women and children.
If we're like getting them to a nice place where they want to go, like, I can do that, but, like, if they don't want to be there, I don't want to take them.
So, in this particular case, it's nothing like that. What you're doing is you're delivering 4 potions that are very expensive from a friendly alchemist to a noble person who does not wish to be seen buying from this alchemist. 4 potions. They let them read minds. It's a little bit rude.
Bad business to know that you're reading people's minds.
Yeah.
And against the law.
Some from column A, some from column B.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
So, in this instance, kind of like to be able to pay you some money. So, this is one of those entry-level kind of jobs. Normally we give it to folks we don't know, don't have recommendations, that sort of stuff. But at least it lets me offer you some gold, because I do appreciate you taking care of the drow, even if it wasn't so well done. So,
knowing that we don't have a lot of experience, is there anyone who could maybe offer us some tips or things to look out for while delivering the potions? Because we seem to come up with a lot of unknowns on the last one that you think we should have known about.
well, that's what tests are for, is to find out what you know. If we tell you what you need to know, it's not a real good test. That's more of a schooling. In this
Is
case,
a test or a job?
This case, it's just a job.
Only we're being tested.
Now, this one's just a job. So there's a place over in the trade wards. It's called Weird Bottles Concoctions. There's a gnome who owns it. Nice. Named Schemo. He's made some potions. Do a little mind reading. I want you to pick them up and deliver them. There's a place called the God Catcher. It's a big statue. It's over in the castle ward. A lady will pull up. She'll be wearing a purple cloak, and she'll give you some cash. You keep the tip. That's it.
Do we take the money back to the alchemist?
That'll already be paid for. She'll just give you a tip.
Okay.
Do you want us to report to you when we're done?
Don't need to.
Find out if we don't get it done.
If you don't get it done, we'll find out.
What was the statue
And
called?
we'll
God
be
what?
God Catcher.
Got a cross street?
Yeah, and he gives you the locations. And I'll get those for you. So, basically what you need to do, go see Schemo. Let him know what you're doing. He'll give you the potions. Take him over. Hang out by the statue. When the lady comes up in the purple cloak, give her the potions. Take your tip. Easy peasy.
Right.
Well, maybe we can set up a stand. Like
I
with
don't
your-
know that
with
we
your-
need to draw any more attention to ourselves.
Yeah, that's probably not ideal. Just
I'm bright pink.
Well, you can be the distraction somewhere else, and one of us will hang out by the statue.
it's
Okay, I could do like maybe
just
some jumping jacks or
just
I
a
mean
simple
backflips.
messenger job.
Jumping jacks. That's not very exciting.
Street
Don't
before
worry,
we have those
honey.
jumping
We
jacks.
can talk about how you'll distract them later.
Like with
Maybe with
Jumping
jumping
jacks?
jacks.
They might work for some of the male audience.
So
She doesn't have much up
Deville's
top.
just like, yeah. So, look, I just want to get some gold in your pockets. This seems like a simple job. Don't overcomplicate things. I don't want to have to give you trouble. Yagra's fantastic. She's already, upset. I don't need upset employees.
Yeah, she's not the only one.
So, all right, go take care of this. We're even. We can get you a little gold. Wish you well.
Great.
And with
We'll do our
that,
best.
Bill sort of like gestures you out. You peace. You head over to the door. Once you get there, start to open it. Yagra opens the door, just sort of like, eyes, Urk.
I'm gonna ask her how the pancakes are at this bar.
How the pancakes are at this bar?
Yeah, Clarity's hungry. We didn't get to eat lunch before we got here. You think you got pancakes? Are they
I
good?
mean, it's the yawning portal. I suppose pancakes could be ordered. I don't know that that's like one of their big selling points. I feel like they're more of the, would you like a big hunk of some random monster roasted on a spit for you?
Hey
No,
guys,
I
I have our
I saw-
selling point.
I saw this awesome creperie on our way down here, and I think it's on our way back to the potion shop, so we can just stop by there. You can have a nice little crepe.
Crepe is not a pancake, but I will take it.
I was just gonna be like, is that like a drink?
No.
Yes, it's exactly like a drink, and you should have one.
What if you used a crepe as a straw?
I suppose that could function, possibly. So
Thank you, Yagra.
as you head out, you do step out into the tavern, and in the tavern are a veritable menagerie of folks. Yagra sort of like sees you a couple of steps away, and then goes in to talk to Deville afterwards, leaving you with the folks available in the tavern. Now, one of the first person to greet you tends to be Bonnie? Bonnie, yes.
Is that how she says her name?
No, it is not how she says her name. I couldn't remember. It was starting with a B and didn't quite come up
Hi,
with it.
folks, I'm Bonnie.
I was hoping that was how she talked.
Okay, never mind. That is how she talks. Hi, folks. I'm
Nice.
Bonnie. What can I get you to drink?
I think
You
we're
got
on our
anything
way
like
out.
mint?
We do. We have a mint wine. I feel like you were fond of it last time.
I look around. Oh yeah. Can I get one of those?
Of course. Just a moment while I get that for you.
Can I have whatever has the longest name?
That would be our supercalifragilisticexpialidocious twice.
Thank you.
No problem.
Can I get one of those too?
Well, it's a dose twice. Do you want a dosed force?
Yes.
Okay, so that's
Ale.
a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious twice, 2 times over. A double.
It's super that thing.
Yes, a double supercalifragilisticexpialidocious twice.
Super
So-
good. You know what? I'll stick with the mint.
Repeat after me, sweetie. Supercalifragilistic
Califragilistic-
expialidocious twice. Yes, thank you. So if there's anything else you need, just let me know. And here's your drink, here's your drink, here's your drink. And she, of course, goes over to Durnan. Durnan's like, hi. Durnan's like, hey, Bonnie. She's like, hi, Durnan. And they exchange, and it comes back. So along with Bonnie is Durnan. He is the bartender himself. And then playing off to the side is 3 Strings, the musician who plays a lute with only 3 strings. And if that's not a lute, it's whatever it is. An instrument with 3 strings. Other folks come and go. Now, you've been talking about opening your own tavern, and there were some questions about hiring on with brewmasters, including the halflings. And I do know eventually the plan is to descend into the pit and do some adventuring in the Undermountain. As we work towards wrapping up this evening, is there anything that you would like to do towards that? Now, the party does know that it will take about 6,000 gold investment into the tavern so that it operates on its own, or whatever business you decide to go with. So if you spend 6,000 gold on Troll Skull Manor, it will generate 1,000 gold every 3 months. That's enough going in that it's now self-maintaining. You can hire different types of people for different types of jobs. In the meanwhile, it's still a building, so you can use it for one-off events or other such things. Is there anyone that you wish to visit, talk to, or plan for?
Well, I had an out-of-character question.
Sure.
So the whole kind of reason that we came here was to go into the pit and to get the necromancer and all that stuff.
Mhm.
So game-wise, are we thinking, like, are our characters not sure how strong they are and, like, how strong they need to be? Does Clarity have any type of idea how much power she's going to need in order to take on the guy, especially now that he's got an army?
So you are vaguely aware that you would still be weak and a little under-equipped if you were heading down there compared to the successful parties. You might be able to go down there, and this is talking with Durnan, talking with some of the others in the bar. You could probably go down there. You might survive a quick explore around, but you'd probably be back up the same day. And things that they recommend having, things that you'll pick up talking to the bar, is a way to sleep safely. And anytime you try and get a detail, people start talking about gold for information. And it sounds like it's fairly steep. They'll offer you, very expert advice for the low fee of about 100 gold per what they call level. So if you spend 100 gold, you could talk to someone, and maybe they would tell you the truth about what's on that first level, or maybe they'll lie to you.
That's
All right.
levels of the hole itself.
Of the Undermountain. So the hole goes down, and then you're on the first level of the Undermountain, which is a massive complex, basically an inverted tower going down into the ground.
Okay.
And you've landed on the floor of the hole before, after certain people silk slid and others just dove straight towards the ground. Once you were down there, you did find troll, sturges, and other such things. And that took a pretty good whooping out of you. And that was just what came up out of the hole, not what lives down there. But if you do wish to start an expedition, Durnan just charges a gold to use his rope, and away you can go.
I don't know about you guys, and I'm sitting there I'm actually slowly drinking this. I'm trying to keep my cool. I think last night might have been a wake-up call. I don't think we were prepared to go delving into anywhere when we can't even stop one guy from killing someone else. And I will admit, I messed up going after that noise, taking Urk with me. And I think we need to be prepared. I think right now what we really need to do is settle in here, find a way to make us some gold, get a good resource backing, and I think Starsong might be who we're supposed to work with. I realize that I just said his name. I hope no one heard that.
DeVille?
It's an open secret in the bar. He is known there, and he keeps a room and does business. As long as you don't accuse him of anything, no one's going to care. People come in and take loans from him all the time. Business is done. Lots of money changes hands. He's a legitimate business person.
Xanathar also chills out in here, right?
Xanathar will come through here occasionally, but it's very rare. Usually, the Xanathar himself, the big floating eye, the beholder, would only be in here on a very special occasion. Usually, someone triumphantly returning from the depths with some curio that he's after.
Got it.
But as you were all sort of pondering there, and a familiar face pops up. Rainier Neverember, who you rescued.
Piss Pants.
What's that?
Piss Pants.
Yes, Piss Pants. That's exactly how he likes to be remembered. So Rainier comes over, he finds you, he says, "Oh, excellent. I was speaking to a friend recently, and she wishes to reach out to you. I was curious who amongst you she should reach out to."
Why is she reaching out?
I believe she has some work to be done.
She can reach out to any of us then.
And he sort of rubs at his temple for a second. And then, Padinka, as you offered, you hear in your mind, I am Viaha Sefer, the Blackstaff. Come to Blackstaff Tower in the castle ward at once. Do bring your friends.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Now I'm hearing voices in my head. This is just going from bad to worse.
And Rainier sort of holds up his hand. She does that. She's been...
So this is a real thing in here?
Yes, quite likely. She's the Blackstaff.
Blackstaff, great.
The
Okay.
Magister, the mage in charge of Waterdeep. She doesn't like to waste time with anything, so she's been troubling me for the last several hours until I could find you and ask which of you would grant permission. And as soon as you did, she reached out to you, so I would acquiesce to her requests.
I'm gonna have a voice in my head all day. Great. Okay, let's go.
Yes, she's a bit like that.
So Padinka's gonna explain what the voice said.
And
Can you just say that name one more time?
Viaha?
Viaha?
Viahar? It's
When-
this.
So when he says that she's the mage of Blackwater,
She is the
Like-
Black Staff of Waterdeep. She is the Magister, the High Mage, in charge of the city.
She's the Minister of Magic.
She is the Minister of Magic.
oh, this can't be good.
When do we need to
I mutter that
deliver
under
this?
my breath.
When do we need to make this delivery?
So the delivery would need to be done by tomorrow. So you have a day to get over there, fetch the potions, and then make yourself available in the square in front of the statue the next day.
We can't miss that delivery, guys. But
Come on, we do the
Whatever this sounds-
delivery, and then we meet with her.
Padinka, you think you can go a day with some voices in your head?
At this point, sure, why not?
By the way, Never Ember, smell a lot better today. Should keep that up.
Oh, thank you. It's a new scent. I picked it up in and he starts just...
By not shitting your
No,
pants.
no. You
I
just
sniff
don't
him.
smell like shit. That's all what we're saying.
And when you say that, he's like... very urbane and witty, I'm sure.
I'm not witty at all. I'm being mean. Don't worry, it'll toughen you up for the future.
Can I
Sounds
just
my
pass
nanny.
him? Here's Shemem something, whatever drink. You need it.
He sniffs at it and then he takes this. No, I do.
I was gonna say Clarity took one sip of it and was like, okay, I don't want that. Never mind.
Padinka's gonna down whatever you guys don't drink. She's having a rough day.
He just puts it down. He's like, that smells like something dwarves would come up with. But yes, best of luck, and thank you again. Have a good day. And he heads off. So when we pick up next week, we will have a errand to run and a meeting to have, and likely from there a bit more adventure. This will take place over the course of 2 or so days. And then you're probably going to have a little bit of time to decide a few things. There will be some opportunities presenting to you, but if you wish to go exploring down in the pit, or if you wish to undertake some other pursuits, just let me know, and we'll pick it back up from there.
So next weekend, on Sunday is Father's Day.
Okay.
So what's happening with Dad? I don't think that Jamie wants to be hanging out when his child is there.
That's probably fair. So should we give a pass on next week? You know what? We'll say goodbye to Twitch. Goodbye, Twitch!
Goodbye!
We'll figure out what we're doing and when we'll be back, and we'll be back eventually, but it might not be next week. All right, bye-bye!
Bye.
Let me kill that.
I'm waving. You can't see.
I feel the wave.
I believe you.
I feel the wave.